Why Manchester United should sign Dries Mertens, the perfect alternative to Anthony Martial, episode 6 of 6. This video will be sponsored by jerseyfifa.com. If you are looking for quality football jerseys at an inexpensive cost, check out the link in the description below. So this video will be the final episode of my Who Manchester United Should Sign series. You can watch the previous 5 episodes after this video. They will be linked in the description below. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell because I will be doing this same series for the other top 6 sides in the Premier League, Real Madrid and Barcelona, as well as some other teams you'd like to see like maybe Leicester, Inter Milan and Juventus. In this episode, I'm first going to analyse why I think Mertens would be a great signing for Manchester United, as well as looking at how the whole team will function with all the signings I've suggested. So Dries Mertens is a relatively outside of the box shout for Manchester United to sign. He is 32, 33 in May, and his current contract with Napoli is due to expire at the end of the season, meaning he would be available to sign on a free. Many would have chosen Timo Werner or Moussa Dembele, however with Martial looking like he's on track to develop into a world-class centre forward, they don't need a complete replacement. As I said in the first episode of my series, I think United need a centre forward who can provide an alternative to Martial. Whilst Martial has excellent moments throughout a game, he can go through periods where he isn't involved in the game, and when United are struggling to link the attack, it may be beneficial for them to have an alternative centre forward who can come on and play more as a deep line forward to solve this issue. However, United shouldn't sign a striker approaching his peak for big money, as Sophie will likely use a one-striker system or a two-striker system with Rashford in the front two, meaning that any striker brought in will be in direct competition with Martial. If United were to sign a player like Werner, he would be competing directly against Martial, which could cause a Frenchman's development to stagnate if he wasn't the first choice forward. Ighalo was brought in January and has scored 4 goals in 8 appearances, which has led to many Manchester United fans calling for him to be signed on a permanent basis. However, he scored against Derby twice in the FA Cup, Club Brugge and Lask in the Europa League, so to say that Ighalo has proved his worth is a stretch. Whilst he has done well, Ighalo isn't the quality that they need, and both fans and the United board need to be careful that they don't fall into a small club mentality, where they are satisfied with an average player coming in and having a few good performances, leading to them signing him on a permanent basis, only for the inevitable decline to come. Having a veteran like Mertens, who'd be an inexpensive signing, is a perfect solution, as he can provide competition and an alternative to Martial, without pushing him out of the team, as he'd only be signed on a 1 or 2 year deal. This is also the same for Mason Greenwood, however he is still very young, so won't be a first team regular starter for United next season. So what sort of player is Dries Mertens and how good is he? Mertens can play as a centre forward or in any of the attacking midfield positions in behind the striker. As a centre forward he functions best when playing as a false 9, dropping deep from the forward line, trying to get in between the lines of the opposition's midfield and defence from where he can create. This season for Napoli he has created 2.7 key passes per 90 minutes, has an expected assist rate of 0.31 per 90 minutes, and despite scoring only 6 goals this season, he has overperformed his expected goals rate by 0.98 goals, with him only making 12 appearances from the start. Last season when Napoli were in a more stable situation, Mertens created 2.8 key passes per 90 minutes, had an expected assist rate of 0.38 per 90 minutes, scoring 16 goals in 35 appearances, with 23 of them being starts, and overperforming his XG rate by 3.62 goals. This shows that Mertens is not only an excellent creator of chances, but also an excellent finisher. Whilst Martial can link the attack well with his hold-up play and his ability to bring the midfield into play is very good, Mertens is a much better creator of chances. This can be seen as Mertens' XA rate of 0.31 per 90 minutes is a lot higher than Martial's 0.12 per 90 minutes. This shows a different type of forwards that Mertens and Martial are. Whilst Martial is a better finisher and has better movement in and around the box, Mertens is a better creator of chances and is better at finding space in between the lines. This gives Solskjaer an alternative option in the attack. In a 4-2-3-1, Dries Mertens could work very effectively with Fernandes in behind him. The Belgian would drop deeper from the forward line than Martial would, dragging a centre back out of the back line, and therefore opening up space for Rashford and Fernandes to make runs into. Martial's movement is a little different to this. He prefers to position himself high up the pitch and act as a wall that the attackers in behind him can bounce the ball off. If United do face an opposition team that play with a defensive midfielder cutting off the passing lanes into the forward, then it can be hard to progress the attack forward using Martial. In this situation, having a player like Mertens, who can play this sort of Roberto Firmino role, can draw defenders out of position and create space for other United attackers to make runs into, would be invaluable. Mertens could be used alongside Martial, playing in a front two. In a 4-4-2 diamond, he could also be used in behind two forwards, being given the role of moving in between the lines trying to receive the ball, whilst also making runs ahead of the forward line. In this sense, Mertens offers versatility, not just in the positions he can play, but also in what he can offer compared to Rashford and Martial, who are far better when dribbling and making runs in behind the back line, whereas Mertens prefers to receive the ball to feet and being the one to play those through balls for the likes of Martial and Rashford to make runs onto. So with Theo Hernandez, Wilfred Ndidi, Ruben Neves, Jadon Sancho and Dries Mertens being brought in, what would Solskjaer's United side look like? In a 4-2-3-1, Solskjaer should use an asymmetric back four in possession, pushing Theo Hernandez forward on the left, whilst Wan-Bissaka is more conservative with his movements forward, which would play into both Wan-Bissaka's defensive strengths and Theo's attacking strengths. Ruben Neves and Wilfred Ndidi will both sit in a deep double pivot. Both are very good ball circulators, with Ndidi being able to play simple passes to move the play forward, whilst Neves has the long passing ability to find players in forward areas, something that United currently lack. McTominay and Fred can also both come into this double pivot when needed. Fred has thrived when playing alongside a ball-winning midfielder in the past, such as Taras Stepanenko at Shakhtar and even Matic or McTominay for United. This is because Fred is very good at applying pressure to the opposition's midfield because of his aggression and reading of the game, but lacks a one-on-one defending ability of a traditional defensive midfielder, so playing him alongside Ndidi in some games would suit his style. Ndidi would be perfect to play on the left of the pivot, as he has defensive assets and athleticism to cover the space in behind Theo, which should give the fullback greater defensive stability to push forward. This is a similar setup to how Klopp uses Jordan Henderson alongside Trent Alexander-Arnold, and like at Liverpool, United's fullback could become their key attacking weapon. These four would give United excellent quality and depth, which is something they have lacked in the past 2 seasons in the central midfield area. With Ndidi and Neves behind him, Bruno Fernandes can sit higher up the pitch, playing as a more traditional number 10, rather than having to drop deep to help United create from deep areas. Rashford as well should work well with Theo, who will provide the width on the left, allowing Rashford to move in field into positions where he can receive the ball to feet and then dribble at the back line, or make runs in behind them into goal scoring positions. Sancho on the other side will hold his width a lot more, looking to link with the likes of Martial, Fernandes and Wan-Bissaka on the right flank. His interplay and dribbling alone would be an instant improvement on the likes of Mata and Pereira, but with him in the side, United would have 2 top-class wide players in Sancho and Rashford. Martial will be United's first choice centre forward, and his ability to play short first-time passes in and around the box should work perfectly with Fernandes and Sancho, enabling United to play through deep defensive structures. However, Solskjaer will also have the option of using Mertens in a deep-lying forward or false 9 role, looking to move into the half spaces, which could be a good option if the opposition are sitting deep and closing off the passing lanes into Martial effectively. With forwards like Martial, Rashford, Sancho, Mertens and Greenwood, Solskjaer has versatility to move into a 2-forward system, with all 5 being able to play as wide forwards or in behind the forward line. Fernandes could play the second striker role, but so could either Mertens or Sancho, which gives Solskjaer the option of playing a more fluid system throughout a match, where the side moves from a wide front three to a narrow one in a diamond shape. In the diamond, a midfield of Ndidi at the base playing as an anchorman, with Neves to his right and Fred to his left, with Fernandes playing at the top, would have the right mix of aggression, tackling ability, creativity and end product in the final third. When you compare this midfield to United's current one, you can see the massive improvement it would be. With Ndidi and Neves also being just 23, this would give United a midfield for the long term, rather than having the likes of Matic in there, who is now the wrong side of 30. Solskjaer should also be looking to use Diego Dalot more as an attacking alternative to Wan-Bissaka, who can play as a wing back on the right with the Englishman playing in behind him. Tuanzebe should also be integrated into the starting 11, as he looks like he could be a significant improvement on Lindelof if he develops in the right way. It would be touch and go with players like Chong, Garner and Gomez, who haven't been as impressive as Williams and Greenwood when they've been given the chance. I think it does look like the end of the road at Old Trafford for Chong, who is now 20, and I do think Garner and Gomez need to be given loan spells. Greenwood definitely should be given more opportunities from the start, and preferably in central positions, as he does look like he could be the next English star to break out and become a top class player. So thank you for watching. Remember to check out the other 5 episodes in the series and subscribe to the channel and click the bell, because I will be doing this series for other clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, and any other clubs you want me to do. So put your video ideas in the comment section below.